Hi everyone, I'm Z from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you the fortune pillow blanket. The pillow blanket includes the main fabric piece, the button loops and the buttons. First, we crochet the main fabric piece, then crochet the button loops, and sew on the buttons. Let's start with the main fabric piece. The main fabric piece begins with a magic ring. Crochet around the starting loop counterclockwise. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, start with a magic ring. I'm using yarn randomly here. For specific yarn color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the product detail page and printed pattern instructions. Then work one chain stitch. Next, work one single crochet into the starting loop. If you can't find the position for the first single crochet, place a stitch marker on that stitch to mark it. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a safety pin or paperclip instead. Next, work 2 chains. Continue working single crochets into the starting loop. Between each 2 single crochets, work 2 chains. Keep going until you complete the 4th single crochet. When done, work 1 chain stitch. Slightly stretch the loop. Then close the magic ring. Gently pull on the yarn tail. There's one loop that's still moving. Tighten this moving loop. Finally, tighten the yarn tail. The loop is now closed. Then, pick up the stitch of the first single crochet and slip stitch. The oval solid dot means not to pull tight. You'll use this yarn later. Don't cut it off. Leave it at the back of the fabric piece, and pause the crocheting. That's all for the first round. Continue to crochet the second round. First, make 1 chain stitch as the starting chain for the single crochet, but this round will be crocheted with another color. Take the corresponding color yarn. Hook the yarn out. The starting chain is now done. Gently tighten the original yarn. Next, pick up 1 strand like this and crochet 1 single crochet, which means inserting the hook into the braid of the slip stitch to crochet. If everyone can identify the stitch position of the first single crochet in the round, you can skip placing a stitch marker to mark it. Next, on the first single crochet below, which is the insertion point, where we made the slip stitch here. We pick up the back loop only and crochet one single crochet. The back loop is the strand of the stitch that's away from you. The strand closer to you is the front loop. When you reach the corner, chain space. First, on the adjacent chain to the left. Again, pick up the back loop and crochet one single crochet. For the rest of this round, all the single crochets will be worked into the back loops only. Then work 2 chains. Continue by making a corresponding single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches on the left side. You'll notice that the 3 stitches below are a chain, a single crochet, and another chain. After completing them, work 2 chain stitches. These 3 stitches correspond to single crochets. Work 2 chain stitches. Continue making corresponding single crochets into these 3 stitches. After completing them, work 1 chain stitch, then join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. Note: do not bring the yarn that's paused from crocheting to the front side of the fabric. Also, do not cut off this yarn. That's all for round 2. Continue crocheting round 3. To make it easier to explain, we'll call the yarn used in round 1 as color 1, and the yarn used in round 2 as color 2. For round 3, crochet using color 1. Leave color 2 at the back, paused from crocheting. Make 1 chain stitch. Insert the hook into the slip stitch loop. Work a single crochet. Then, on the 3 single crochets on the left side, pick the back loops and correspondingly make single crochets. Pay attention. Every time when you crochet into the first single crochet below, the back loop here might not be very noticeable. Make sure not to crochet into the wrong loop. Once completed, you'll reach the chain space at the corner. Continue making a single crochet into the back loop of the chain stitch on the left side. Chain 2. Next, continue picking the back loops and correspondingly making single crochets. Every time you reach a corner, make 2 chain stitches. Crochet all the way to the last single crochet of this round. Once completed, make 1 chain stitch. Then it's the same as the ending of round 2. That means, slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. That's how round 3 is done. Now continue to round 4. Except for the last round, which uses the same color as the second to last round. The rest are crocheted alternately with these 2 threads. That means, all other odd-numbered rounds are crocheted with color 1. Even-numbered rounds are all crocheted with color 2. So now we switch colors to crochet. Make 1 chain stitch. It's the same as before. We work the first single crochet. Continue picking up the back loops of the next 2 single crochets on the left side, and crochet single crochets. Once completed, there is 1 double crochet on the left. We are now on the second single crochet of round 2. Pick up the remaining front loop to crochet. That is, the front loop underneath the adjacent stitch, on the left side of this stitch. Insert the hook from bottom to top through this loop to crochet. Pay attention, the height of the double crochet should roughly match the level of the single crochet on the right side. Don't crochet too high. Make sure it lays flat and looks neat. Once completed, continue by working 1 single crochet correspondingly into each of the next 3 stitches on the left side. From now on, except for the first single crochet of each round, all other single crochets are worked into the back loops of the previous round. This won't be repeated in the following steps. Pay attention, you need to skip the stitch right after the double crochet here. That is, right here. For however many double crochets you crochet, you'll skip that many stitches to crochet into. After completing the 3 single crochets, chain 2, continue crocheting according to the chart. You'll notice that in this round, each side's middle section requires 1 double crochet. The double crochets are all worked on the front loops from round 2. The corners are the same as in the previous rounds. The finishing is also the same as before. We'll complete this round. Now we've finished explaining round 4. Let's continue with round 5. Start normally by switching colors. After completing the first single crochet, continue with another single crochet. Then another double crochet. From now on, the double crochets are worked on the front loops of the corresponding positions from the upper round. Here, you'll pick the front loop of the first single crochet from round 3 and work into it. Pay attention. It's directly below this stitch on the left side. After completing it, skip the next stitch after the double crochet. Correspondingly, work 3 single crochets. After completing them, continue working on the front loops of round 3. Crochet 1 double crochet. Everyone, make sure not to crochet in the wrong position. You must start from the front loop of the corresponding stitch right below. We'll continue following the chart and finish this round. Now, round 5 is complete. Next, everyone continue crocheting while referring to the chart. Keep crocheting all the way down to the first 11 rounds. You'll notice, the stitch pattern isn't difficult. It just requires careful attention and frequent stitch count checks. Everyone can use stitch markers for necessary markings as needed. Use stitch markers to make necessary marks. After completing the first 11 rounds, let's take a look at round 12. You'll notice, after normally crocheting the starting single crochet, the next step is to work a double crochet. The double crochet is worked into the front loop of the slip stitch at the end of round 10. Refer to the actual project. Mine is a small sample with fewer rounds. The method will be mainly explained here, and won't be repeated later. Assume this round on the actual piece is round 11. This horizontal bar is the front loop of the slip stitch at the end of round 10. After completing the first single crochet of round 12, the next double crochet is worked by picking up this horizontal bar. The next stitch is the horizontal bar below the adjacent single crochet. For similar situations moving forward, just follow the demonstration shown here. Next, please crochet carefully by referring to the chart. It should be noted that, on round 24, you need to make a single crochet increase in the middle stitch of each side. After completing round 23, locate the middle stitch of each side, and place a marker in it. When crocheting round 24, each time at the marked stitch, pick up the back loop and work 2 single crochets. This is a single crochet increase. After finishing round 24, continue crocheting according to the chart all the way to the second to last round. That means just crochet this chain stitch. Pay attention. On the second to last round, each corner is crocheted with 1 chain stitch. Also, after finishing the third to last round, do not break the yarn. I'll continue explaining the final round. First, Join with a slip stitch in the back loop of the first single crochet. If you can't identify the stitch for the first slip stitch, you can place a marker. Next, whether it's a single crochet, double crochet, or chain stitch, always pick up the back loop for the slip stitch. Pay attention to the tension of the slip stitch, ensuring the edge stays flat. Continue all the way to the last chain stitch position, which is the position adjacent to the right side of the stitch marker. Once done, cut the yarn, leaving a tail of 5–10 centimeters. Do not cut the thread below. Then weave in the ends. You can first pull the yarn tail through the stitch marker's stitch. Then pull it through the loop of the last slip stitch. Adjust slightly. Then weave in the ends. You can also weave in the entire yarn tail. Simply weave in the remaining ends as well. This yarn will be used for crocheting the button loop later. That's all for the main piece. Next, we'll explain the button loop and button. First, on the inner side of each edge of the main piece, crochet the button loop on roughly the right half of the edge. Then sew the button on the left half. 3 of the corners also need button loops, and the remaining 1 corner will have the button sewn on. Now let me demonstrate using a swatch. First, locate the corner at the starting position. The button loop will be crocheted using the uncut yarn here, at the same color yarn on the right side, around the third to last round. Pick up 1–2 threads. Pull the yarn through. Chain 5. These 5 chains form the corner button loop. Then, on the left side of the same round, at the first single crochet position, pick up 1–2 threads and slip stitch. If you can't find the exact spot, just approximate it. Chain 4 as a transition. Skip 4 stitches, slip stitch. These 3 chains will serve as the first button loop on this side. Then skip 2 stitches. You've now reached the position of the next round below. Work slip stitches into each and every stitch. I have fewer stitches here. After completing the corresponding stitches, continue crocheting with chains and slip stitches. Every 3 chain space forms 1 button loop. That means, excluding the corners, each half side should have 5 button loops. Sometimes during the crocheting process, you'll need to skip rows. Just refer to the chart for details. After completing the 3 chains for the last button loop, you can work 2 more slip stitches on the left side. Then cut the yarn and weave in the ends. You can also continue crocheting slip stitches all the way to the next corner. I'll stop here for now. That's all for the button loops on this side. Next, use the same method. Complete the button loops on the other 2 sides on the left. Both corners on the left side also need button loops. If you broke the yarn earlier, you'll need to join a new yarn when crocheting the corner button loops. Just like before, pick up 1-2 threads at the approximate position on the 3rd last round. Then start crocheting. The stitch count on the 2 sides on the left is the same as the first side. Just follow the chart for the first side. After finishing the first 3 sides, continue with the 4th side. Pay attention. The 4th corner doesn't need a button loop. Just crochet the same number of button loops on this half side as before. We can start by joining the yarn at the single crochet adjacent to the left of the 2 double crochets at the corner. Work 1 chain stitch. Slip stitch into the stitch on the left side. Then crochet 1 button loop. Continue crocheting the remaining button loops. That's all for the button loops. Next, sew on the buttons. First, on the inside of the corner where no button loops were crocheted. Roughly at the second to last round. The thread doesn't need to be pulled too tight here. You can leave it slightly loose. Then tie a knot to secure it. And hide the yarn ends properly. I'll leave mine visible here. Next, everyone should attach buttons on each side. Also on the inside, at the position of the second to last round, sew a button onto each position. Note, each button should correspond to the position of the buttonhole on the other half of the same side. In other words, fold it in half like this. And sew a button at each corresponding buttonhole position. Each side is done the same way. Once the buttons are sewn on, I'll demonstrate how to fasten it here. First, fold the two corners like this. Then fasten each button into its corresponding buttonhole. This is the corner button. Remember, every time you fasten the buttons, you always push them in from the top down like this. Continue fastening the buttons using the same method. Then do the same for the remaining sides. Note, each corner buttonhole should be fastened with this corner button. When there's one opening left, insert the pillow insert. Then fasten these two sides separately. That's all for the buttons. Up to this point, this pillow blanket tutorial is complete. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.